Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this episode, we watched The Losers. I know the title of the podcast is that we loved when we were younger, but I know this one was just me, so...
It's not that I hated this when I was younger. This just did not come... This never made its way to, my radar at all.
Yeah. Never heard of this film.
No, I think I saw the trailer of that bit where Chris Evans does the finger guns, and I was like, that looks sick, and I watched it, twice, and I was like, oh, this is really good, and then watching it this time, I got, Remember the reason we started this was because I watched Wanted, and at the time I thought it was sick, and then I was like, no, this is just fine.
Yeah, turns out it's kind of sick, but also just fine.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Some cool bits, good cast, just an alright... I think part of the reason this hasn't held up as much is that since 2010 there have been so many better action movies.
I'd say
before.
Also, before 2010, there were better action movies,
and during.
I'd say there's always been better action movies than this film. I would say that,
see what other
but
films
I can't.
Came out in 2010.
Avatar.
I can't remember
Zoe
anything.
Saldana's other movie from 2010 that's not just this.
I can't remember anything about this film, so I could say that there are
Night
better
and
action
Day?
movies. Don't know.
Better action film.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like Tom Cruise.
That was pretty good.
Kick-Ass. The Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, probably. Just assume it's better.
Salt.
God, this film is bad.
Edge of Tomorrow, genuinely amazing action movie. Oh no, that's 2014.
Yeah.
This is
Edge of Tomorrow's way later.
I was no, not 2010s. 2010.
So,
Fucking Google.
So this film is shockingly boring for an action.
Yeah.
I mean, for any movie.
For an action movie based on a comic book series that I think no one's heard of.
This is an action movie that is more boring and dull to watch than a historical time drama.
It's one of those ones where
historical...
they're called the losers. They're they pat themselves on the back for doing the very least you can do in a humanitarian crisis of not killing some children.
Yeah.
They're we went rogue and didn't kill these children we were told to kill, and it's okay, cool, good. Do you want a sticker? That's not actually enough to make you a good
It's really
person.
not very well expanded upon, is it?
No.
Yeah, I think I had this on DVD as well. You know, the time when I had a shitload of DVDs.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I tried to watch, and it's a bad film because you haven't forced either of us to watch it 1,000 times.
Yeah, I think I watched it 2 or 3 times and then forgot about it.
It's not good. I tried to watch this film 2.5 times. To be fair, I was ill last week, so watching it is difficult at the best of health. I tried watching. I've 2.5. I got through it halfway through it first time. Had to give up. Watched it a full time the second time round. None of it went in. I mean, absolutely none of it. I can't tell you any of the characters, not their names, by description. Couldn't tell you what kind of person's in this. Watched it a third time. Watched the whole thing. I know there's a woman in it. And I know that Idris Elba is in it. None of this film has stayed anywhere in my mind.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. In the last recording, when you mentioned that Chris Evans was in it, I was like, was he? He's one of the main characters.
Yeah, he's one of the main characters. This came out the same year as Scott Pilgrim.
Legitimately, when you said, "Oh, there's another film with Chris Evans in it," I was going, "What film?" And I've only just realised you meant this film. Is Chris Evans in this film?
Yeah, he's the finger guns guy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Chris Evans.
I don't know what you mean by finger guns guy.
The bit where he does the finger guns and shoots people, and there's a guy with a sniper rifle that's one building across, and it's the only good scene in the movie.
Nope, none of that's gone in.
It's also got Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it. He's cool.
Who?
He has,
what?
The He was in Grey's Anatomy and
Yeah, I know who he
Watchmen.
is.
Yeah, he's the main guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, Max. What's
Oh.
who it?
No, Max is the really shit bad guy who has no personality apart from he's a bad guy.
He's mad.
Oh, like played by someone called Jason Patrick.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is Clay. apparently.
What?
Yeah. And there's a sniper called Cougar and some guy called Pooch.
Uh-huh.
They're a team of people who
They're like special
call in
black
airstrikes
ops.
and yeah, they're like
Cool.
normally call in airstrikes and stuff. They really don't do much. And then yeah, they rescue some children, and then the children get blown up on a helicopter, and they're like, "We were supposed to be on that helicopter. Let's pretend we're dead so we can find out who did this."
Oh yeah, that's the
Which
plot.
sounds like it would be a lot cooler than it is.
Sure. No, it sounds like it would be really cool. Couldn't tell you. Like, this isn't a bit. I legitimately don't remember a thing about this
Yeah.
film.
Oh, okay. So they all go to ground, and then
Are you
Clay
reading
is.
Yeah, I think we need to.
I might
This
be
is-
on the Wikipedia plot summary.
it? This is the first Wikipedia assisted summary of a film. How is it so forgetful? How is this movie so...
It's so bland. So
It's
anyway,
so
so
generic as well.
this girl comes up and is like, "I know who you are. There's a chance to kill the guy that wanted to kill them, their old boss."
Yeah,
Yeah.
some mysterious guy called Max.
Ooh, edgy horror villain name, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like they've got to get a, I don't know. Oh, what the fuck? Discovering that the drive contains credits for a 400 million transfer. Oh yeah, it's like they have it's cryptocurrency essentially. Like they have a it's a hard drive
We're
that's
gonna
got loads of
put-
cash on it
We're gonna
that you can
put
use to
this
buy
film-
something called Sonic Nukes, or apparently, and I do not remember this, but I wish I had. They refer to them as snooks.
Yeah, which is weird because in every other iteration of something being referred to as a snook, it's a suitcase nuke. But sure.
What?
That's in other films.
Okay.
Get smart? Yeah.
Well, clearly they're more memorable than this film.
They're
Hard
described as
not to be.
eco-friendly bombs.
Yeah, because they just dematerialize everything.
Yeah, I
Such
guess.
a weird, like.
Basically, they don't have fallout,
Cool.
but it's like it's still a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still bombs.
Yeah,
Why is this film so forgetful?
I'm
What-
reading the plot
what-
summary, and it's just like I'm reading it for the first time. Like I do not.
Yeah, I'm
remember
glad I made a lot of
experience.
notes.
What is it about this film?
It's
That-
gonna
we're not
say-
going to
did
use
you
your
two,
notes. We're
did
not
you
going
two
to actually...
accidentally watch the film Loser from 2000s? The
I wish
American
I had.
Pie?
It's probably
Yeah,
better.
no, that sounds... I probably remember. We'd be able to talk about that film.
Yeah, we'd be able to talk about the bit where Wheatus is in it.
There was a weird
can't-
scene where
You
Chris
could tell me
Evans'
Wheatus was in this
character-
film.
Oh yeah, I do remember the bit of Chris Evans' his character like sneaks into this building pretending to be like
Yeah,
a
he's
techie,
singing "Don't Stop Believing" to
And-
make everyone not go in the lift with him. Yeah,
and he then gets changed in the lift and is then naked and then like makes this weird joke because these women open the lift door opens and these women all look at him and I'm like, is he naked or is he in his boxers? Because he's like he makes a weird comment about his own penis.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he
calls
gets
in
caught.
like a HR issue
Yeah, he
on
gets
on like to make the person he's trying to infiltrate go downstairs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he gets caught, and then he manages to get his sharpshooter colleague to like shoot these two guys for him.
Yeah, but he's
Sure.
saying that he's like a been like a psychic experiment or so. Essentially, he's describing himself as an in-between of the character from Persian Captain America. And he does finger guns and shoots people, but it's actually
Yeah,
the
he does
sniper.
finger gun. Yeah, he's sort of Magneto.
I
Yeah.
couldn't fucking tell you. You could be making this up, by the way.
No, that is the only good scene in the film.
That
The-
yeah,
that
that,
that,
was
and
kind
that
of
and driving a motorbike through a plane, but
The one thing I do remember about this film is they spent a lot of money on the soundtrack.
Mm.
Because from memory, it's a lot of like rock music, like really expensive rock music.
Yeah, because he's singing "Don't Stop Believing" when he's first going into that building as well.
Did they really think that like just having rock music in an action film was enough?
Does that make it an
feels
action?
Like it. Because I have vague memories of actual action happening. I can't remember the specifics, but I remember there being like car chases and like the like a silhouette of action.
Yeah, because like
in my mind.
they think they're gonna find Max in this like bunch of trucks, but he's not there, and instead it's a hard drive, and so that's when they find there's money on it. And then
Is this film trying to hide things from its audience? Because
the girl is like a femme fatale in a way, like she double crosses them or something.
Yeah, it turns out she's the daughter of the guy that they killed at the beginning.
Yeah.
They killed the guy at the beginning?
Like, that's the end reveal, I think, is she's
feels
the
like
daughter
this
of the guy they
film...
killed at the beginning.
The same as the most recent series of Mabine.
What?
I don't remember that episode of Mr. Bean, but okay.
No, Man Like Mabine.
Oh, that is.
What the fuck is Mabine?
Man, M-A-N, like.
Yep.
Mabine.
Yeah. No idea.
M-O-B-E-N. It's set in Birmingham. You have to watch it. It's good.
Do we though?
Okay. Is it better than this?
Probably be
it
better
is.
than
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Setting the bar favourably low. It is. Confidently say it's better than The Losers.
It's going to be the shortest episode we've ever done.
I remember nothing. I'm trying to scrounge up memories by reading about it, and just nothing is coming up.
I feel like this film is trying to hide something in itself, because it feels like it's deliberately trying to make its audience not remember. Like, there has to be something about it where it's a deliberate choice to force you not to remember this film. Something is hidden somewhere in this film.
Is it a code? Do you think it's a special code?
Yeah, this is real.
Maybe.
This actually happened. That's the thing. It's a documentary.
It couldn't have, because if it actually happened, it might be fucking interesting.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this film is... Like you said, you took notes. Even watching it, I struggled to think about the film as I was watching it.
Yeah, like watching it, there were some bits that as they happened, I was like, I remember this happening before. Like, I remember Idris Elba, like, turning on them and betraying them.
When does that happen?
At the end. Pooch gets shot in both legs, and everyone keeps asking him if he can stand, and he's like, are you fucking serious?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Like this was 2010 action comedy in finger quotes that I kind of enjoyed at the time because I was 17 and an idiot.
I have no problem with you enjoying it. I'm shocked that you can remember it.
Yeah, little bits. Like I say, the main bit I remember is the finger guns. Not really that much else, yeah. There was some... I forgot that at the end the bad guy gets away and just goes away on a bus and doesn't get killed. I thought they cut his hand off so that he has to keep holding onto the button so the snooks don't go off, but that doesn't happen.
What?
So out of 10, no.
That's so good. I don't know how to talk about this film because I feel like I've never seen it. And I've watched it twice.
So I wasn't ill when I watched it. I was ill promptly afterwards. I watched it and then I caught a cold, and I don't know if that's contributed to me forgetting about it.
I don't think it is.
But I'm like, if we delay, because we delayed by half a week because we were both quite poorly. And I didn't rewatch
watched
it
this 2 days ago. I rewatched this film 2 days ago. Nothing. Absolutely none of it went in.
I'd forgotten that Idris Elba was in it. I'd forgotten that everyone was in
He's
it.
the only person I remembered that was in it.
I remembered Chris Evans' character when I saw a picture of him, but I'd forgotten it was Chris Evans because he's wearing like dorky round glasses and...
Watching it, I didn't think
beard.
it was... I don't think I remember it being Chris Evans.
Yeah, maybe this is one of the fake Chris Evans movies from Scott Pilgrim and I somehow found it.
Yeah, we were never supposed to watch it.
No, this podcast will mysteriously disappear after this episode releases because they're like, oh no, they found it.
So it's got 6.2 on IMDb. What's the Rotten Tomatoes?
Fucking hell.
Hang
How
on,
does
let's see.
anyone
Let's see what it's
remember
like
it?
over Letterboxd because I
This is the mystery of this film. It's like
48% on
remembers
Rotten
it?
It's, you know,
Tomatoes.
average of 2.8. Like highest scoring seems to be 3 stars.
48%
Ooh.
according to Critic.
Oh, most of the Letterboxd reviews now. I mean, this one is someone saying in 2010 they're like, "Oh, Chris Evans is so dreamy," and now they're watching it like, "Damn, Jeffrey Dean Morgan."
What is going on? This is such a. I don't know how to talk about
Someone
this. film.
described it as dispiriting.
Yeah. It actively doesn't make you want. It actively doesn't want anyone watching it. This film.
I do remember immediately sort of getting the ick that I feel isn't this film's fault. It's the decade of Marvel films that follows it, but it is quippy. This
Oh,
film,
yeah.
like
Yeah,
all
very
of the
much so.
dialogue is quips, and it's not, but they're not funny enough to. It's not a comedy where it's like the dialogue is like so sharp and everyone's really witty.
It's
They
just
think it
quippy.
is?
It's
Yeah.
action comedy quippy. This would have come out after the first Iron Man, actually. But
Yeah.
I mean, even that
Really?
one wasn't that quippy. Yeah,
Yeah.
this would have
Fucking
been
hell.
same year as Iron Man 2.
How did this have that framework?
And then immediately after this is just, Chris Evans is fucking Captain America.
Still make the most forgettable movie.
Sergio Benitez does say it is forgotten as soon as you finish watching it. As far as one would dare to affirm, such quality is not a virtue to take into account.
See, he's saying that. I don't know if he means that deliberately, but it literally feels like it's wiped from your memory.
I think it's auto-translated from Spanish. Not the
Yeah.
film, the review. But also, I wouldn't be surprised.
You could tell me that this film was entirely made by AI, and I would believe you.
Not awful
And
by
I mean
any means, but the ending suggests a sequel. The film, however, suggests otherwise.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this is because it's a comic book adaptation. I think this adapts 2 of them, and there's probably more. And it went nowhere. I looked at the trivia, and they were like, "Oh yeah, in the books, like each place they're in, they only use like 2 colors, so they tried to use that in the color palette." And I'm like, I did not notice that in the film.
They didn't know
This
it.
film is
They
very
didn't try
yellow.
hard- They didn't
Yeah.
try hard enough by the looks of it.
No,
How did they use 2 books worth of stuff and it
That's
still
a
be
comic
this
book.
bland?
Yeah.
Like, how do you use 2 comic books worth of information in a 90-minute film and it still be bland and forgettable? How do you? The only option is it has to be a deliberate choice.
It's a very loose take on the comic books, by the looks of things.
Well, yeah, because the comic book's clearly sold, so it has to be a loose take.
Yeah, well, they're very much more. I think it leans much more into the pilot and army soldier side of it more than this one obviously leans into the like gone rogue side of it.
Dan, what notes do you have?
I just took notes of the movie as the movie happened because I had to.
Thanks for telling me
That's what
that's how notes work.
It's bafflingly, like, honestly, I kind of want people, like, I don't want people to watch it because honestly it's not worth it. It is just an hour and a half gone from your life that you can't get back, but you also won't remember. I didn't give this my full attention. I'm pretty sure I was playing either The Sims or Tears of the Kingdom whilst watching this. But, like,
You physically can't. It challenges you to.
Yeah, like I think the only reason I did was because I was like, I remember liking this. I'll watch this, and then just kind of going through like, I remember this bit. I guess how that bit was a bit funny.
okay, so The Expendables came out in 2010.
So not only did this come out after a better comic book film, it came out the same year as a much better action movie.
Yeah,
Green
With
Zone?
a very
Do you guys remember
similar
that one?
premise. What?
No.
Salt, that was apparently quite good, I think. I always
Yeah,
wanted to see that film,
Salt
but
was-
never got around to it. Also
Yeah, I don't think
2010.
I did
It's all
either.
right.
Angelina Jolie is in that one.
So it's alright.
Yeah, I mean, this movie probably has more cuts in the action scenes than all of those other movies combined too. It's choppy as fuck when they're having the fight scenes.
You'd think that would make it more memorable.
Oh, it came out the same year as Red, which has a very similar premise, which is a fantastic comedy film, like a comic book movie.
Yeah, it came out the same. Why was this film made?
Someone wanted to, I guess.
Not enough.
I think the more important question is, why did I watch it?
That's true. Why did you watch this film? How did you stumble across this film?
I saw the trailer for it. It must have been like online because this was like early YouTube days. Oh no, I know what this would have been. I can guarantee you that I saw like clips of this on Tumblr and was like, that looks good. And yeah, because I definitely, there's no way I went to the cinema for this or anything. I would have definitely bought the DVD from CEX and watched it like 2 or 3 times maybe. But yeah, I feel like this was a Tumblr movie, like how everyone gets recommendations for books and shit just from TikTok now. That was me with Tumblr with movies.
But it wasn't like a deliberate choice. It was people making 1,000 GIFs.
Yeah, 1,000 GIFs of the same scene.
Yeah. It wasn't like TikTok is going to advertise this to you. No, it was just fucking Tumblr was obsessed with a film for like a week.
Exactly. So then I became obsessed with the film for like a week, and then
it was probably because of Captain America that people went, "Ooh, he's in this film as well."
Yeah. No, I definitely watched this before I watched Captain America as well. I would have seen this the year it came out, I think. Which says a lot if I got the DVD from CEX. Someone had already traded it in.
To be honest, they probably forgot that they bought it and went, "Oh, probably get rid of that."
That's like £2 there.
Yeah, get rid of that film.
So it made 25. The budget was about 25 million, and it made a whopping 29.9 million, and that's the total. That's the worldwide gross.
Wow.
Yeah. So that definitely explains why there isn't the sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think if a sequel maybe a sequel did come out and no one remembers.
It might have. More hidden information.
What would you call it? The Toozers.
Yeah. Losers 2 lose harder.
2 lose.
To us?
Uh-huh.
To us.
No, to those 2 losers.
Imagine if you had this franchise instead of the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Well,
Lose 5.
Faster came out in 2010, so...
Yeah, I forget how old the Fast and Furious franchise is.
Yeah, the very first movie, they're stealing DVD players. I watched the newest one. Jason Momoa is fucking brilliant in it, and apart from that, it's one of the weakest movies.
It's the Madness franchise. It's a Madness franchise.
It is insane that a franchise can hit the 5th movie and somehow fucking blow it out of the park with one of the best set pieces ever.
It's insane that a film could start as understated. Go and watch the first Fast and Furious film. It's so like normal and understated and like dramatic because it's literally about them racing cars to get like someone gets kidnapped or something.
Yeah, and they want to steal DVD players, and there's a cop who's trying to like Brian is just going undercover because he wants to break down this street racing ring, and Dom Toretto ends up becoming friends with him, and then Paul Walker died in real life.
Yeah, but it's like
sad.
Normal. It's a very normal film, and then you watch like it just gets insane.
Yeah, I would love to find someone who's never watched a single Fast and Furious movie. Show them the first one, and then show them the newest one, and be like, right,
ask them to explain
fill
why
in
they
the
think
blank. Yeah, how did we get here?
Yeah, it's a nonsense franchise. It's so batshit, and people keep but they're entertaining as hell to watch. And guess what? They also are memorable.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've in that few minutes remembered more about Fast and Furious than I have about the Losers.
When was the last time you watched
Fast 5? Was I think the same year as this?
Wait, is Faster part of the Fast and Furious?
No. Oh, Fast 5 was the year after this. No, Faster
Oh.
is not part of
Yeah.
Fast and Furious, but you've
I'm
sent us
so
on a
confused
tangent
then.
and we're going
Yeah,
down it.
I was just thinking, like, there's gonna be people screaming at their phones, being like, "Faster's actually a separate thing with Dwayne Johnson."
Yeah, but
No.
then he is in Fast 5, so it's
But yeah,
fine.
so then I
No,
was.
it-
that's why
it-
I was confused. I was like,
Yeah.
"This is
No,
not fair."
Fast is in the Fast is in the Fast and Furious franchise because literally every film ever made is in the Fast and Furious universe. Every film ever made is in the Fast and Furious universe, just at
Yeah,
different
there's
times.
There's a tie-in. This movie, The Losers, is in the Fast and Furious universe.
Yeah, sure, why
Yeah,
not?
Why not?
It could be. It could have happened. This could be one of the Fast movies, and I wouldn't remember.
I don't think there's enough cars in the Losers.
That's true.
No.
I
No,
don't
definitely not.
remember there being any cars, but I don't remember.
There's not even a car chase. Like,
It's a
They're not a car
truck.
chase.
they pick up a truck with a magnet helicopter. That happens.
Do they?
Yeah.
What?
They steal a helicopter from some
This
from some army
film
people.
sounds sick. How? How
Yeah.
does this film sound that sick? And yet,
And then
yeah,
you watch it and you're like, oh, what?
I guess.
let's just jump ahead because I mean, I must have sort of enjoyed it watching it because at the bottom of my notes I gave this a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking it's a 4 out of 10 Fast and Furious movies I'd rather be watching
Yeah.
at the same time.
I genuinely,
Overlapped.
I genuinely don't know how to rate this movie because I don't remember it enough to be able to give it a rating. I don't know this film well enough to be like, well, this is this and blah, blah. I don't know. I can't give it
That's
a
why-
rating.
That's why everyone goes for the middle ground. That's why it's so
Into the-
heavily rated because everyone's like, that was a movie. They made a movie. Well done.
This film has just entered the void. I guess it has to be like a
Your brain
1.
got snooked.
Yeah, it has to be like a 1 because I genuinely it's a 0
I don't think
It's
we've
a
ever had
0.
a 0 before.
because I genuinely well a 0 is like a 1 is like I can remember the film is bad. A 1 is the film is horrifically bad. A 0 is I can't remember the film.
Yeah, it's not so much
Exactly.
of a 0 as it is just a null.
Yeah,
And it's not even like we're going. It's not like this podcast is, hey, we remember this movie being good. Let's talk about what we think it was, and then watch it, and then see. We should have done that.
that film.
Would have been yeah.
Much better.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
I must have been mildly entertained while watching it. It was fine. Some bits were funny. They drove a motorbike through an airplane and blew up Idris Elba at one point. That happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could be lying to me. Chris Evans could straight up not be in this film, and I still believe you that he was.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Chris Evans.
Oh, I do remember, and not just because I've looked up a clip and I'm watching it now on YouTube. She lied. There's a bit where like it's like it's all gone wrong, and they're going to be shot, and they actually do shoot one of them. The bad guys do shoot one of them, but then the girl Aisha fires a bazooka, and that
Yeah,
bit was
Pooch
kind
gets
of
shot
cool.
in both legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pooch, that's when Pooch gets shot in the legs, and then yeah, she's just standing there with a bazooka.
But yeah, it's oh god, sorry, I'm trying not to yawn, but my oh my, it's really bad. It's actually baffling how bad it is, because it's like normally if something's bad, it's because like the dialogue is so clunky, and we've got some like amazing quotes of like the terrible dialogue. But,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, this is just so. It was. So,
I can't
like,
wait for in 6 months' time. I'm like, guys, can we do The Losers? I remember watching that.
Sure, I know. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, so the good scene, the scene that we said that was okay with the finger guns, was like the quote is, "I'm warning you, I am a lethal killing machine. It was a secret government experiment. They did stuff to me, spooky stuff, anal stuff, turned me into a dangerous telekinetic. As the ancient Tibetan philosophy states, don't start none, won't be none." Yeah, so the dialogue wasn't good anyway,
I'm
was it?
glad I don't remember this film.
The next next quote is Legolas, Pooch, and I are on it. And Pooch says, "Call me Legolas Pooch again, and you're going to be Headless Jensen." Jensen says, "I think it's a cool name. Makes you sound like a pirate." Pooch says, "Your mum is a pirate."
I feel like this film daring you to remember it. It's a challenge. So what do you? We just need to. I don't.
Weirdly, he's like weirdly obsessed with his niece's football team.
Yeah, the under-8 soccer team, the Petunias.
What?
And then they go and watch it at the end. And Pooch is also, his wife is having a baby, but because he's having to pretend he's dead, and then at the end they break into the hospital so he can see his wife give birth, and he has a baby boy.
What?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, these
Did you
quotes are all
make
just
that
awful
up?
quips as well.
No,
that.
It's in my note.
But yeah, the Petunias thing I had genuinely forgotten. It feels like that was a different movie because, like, yeah, the contrast of like action movie and his kind of quirky thing being that he really supports his niece and her football matches is so weird and just not.
That sounds like
would ever happen.
But that sounds like a good movie.
Yeah. Is this actually a really good movie and we just don't get it?
No, I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
As a concept, it sounds like a good movie. I don't know what they did to it.
No, I don't know what they did to us. We're not even getting that
genuinely-
old yet.
Genuinely don't know what they did to it because I don't remember watching it. I remember turning it on and then I blacked out. So how out of 10? I'm giving it a 0 because I genuinely... It's a void.
Yeah, I sort of inclined to agree. 0 out of 10. Did not perceive.
Yeah. This film doesn't
not
want to
watch.
be perceived.
No.
But
yeah.
it's like, we've watched
I'll
worse
stick with the
films.
4. I must have enjoyed it.
You're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself.
Yeah,
'Cause you remember nothing about it.
All right, 3. I'll be fair. Like I do I do remember like bits of it. I was entertained watching it.
I don't really want to give it a 0 out of 10. I'd rather just give it a blank out of 10 or just question mark out of 10. Like, there are worse films. Like, this film isn't really offensive.
Oh, yeah.
It isn't really vulgar. It isn't, there's other films that are worse. And it's also, I guess, quite short, which is a relief. Because that's less of my life that I have genuinely forgotten about. But it is bizarrely forgettable. Like, normally you remember bits.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to recall the film. Normally, yeah, we struggle a bit sometimes, but this was bad.
Like we get the big strokes if we forget the little stuff. But we're even struggling to get, like, the main plot. It's not a bad movie, I don't think. But I can't call it a bad movie because I genuinely don't remember it.
It's not good in that it doesn't have any of the good things a movie would have, like a good plot.
Being
like
A
good
memorable
dialogue.
scene,
Memorable.
action scene, or set piece.
Yeah. The one set piece is the finger guns thing, and even that has like that
Yeah.
weird anal line just thrown in.
Yeah.
But I can't say it's a particularly bad movie.
Yeah, well, we've just got the fucking film that cannot be named lurking in there, being like, "You didn't give me a 0," and I'm like, "I know I
Yeah.
did. I wish I did." But
No,
I
'cause that-
didn't.
Because that film could be perceived. It was hard to
I
understand
remember
and
a hell of
impossible
a
to
lot more
follow.
about that film than I remember about this film.
Yeah,
And
I'd rather not remember that film.
Yeah, no, we've tried. We've tried to block that one out, and it's still there.
That's
looming in the
sticking.
background.
You can't not forget that film.
No.
But this film is hard to observe.
Oh, just Justin Timberlake's song. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
this
that
film
drilled
doesn't
in
have
my
a
head
random
forever.
song in it.
Yeah, it does. He
It
sings
might
"Don't
do.
Stop Believing."
Oh shit! Yeah, it does have a line. Okay, well, yeah, I was trying to
Yeah.
scrape together a point for it, but oh,
This film might do.
dreadful,
It might have a
genuinely
song in it.
awful film.
But also, you say this film doesn't have a song in it. It genuinely might, and we have forgotten. Like, it actually might have a music sequence. I don't think it does.
The "Don't Stop Believing" bit, I think.
But like an actual music sequence. I don't think it does. But I can't be sure.
Yes, before it becomes full-on dementia, I've been Dan.
I think I've been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
I'm
So
Ron
I've been
Burgundy.
I've been reading I read a book recently. Not as recently as I saw this film, but recently.
And yet you've managed to remember more
Oh yeah,
of
I
it.
remember way more about. But it's called "There Is No Anti-Memetics Division," and it's all about these monsters. That one of their defense mechanisms is that you forget about them. You can't remember them. A bit like the Silent in Doctor Who and various other things like that, where like if you try and remember them, you can't, and like
It's
if
just
you
a
write
blank
about
space
them,
in your memory.
yeah, and like if you like they can also make you sort of start to forget and the things around you as well. And I feel like this film has some anti-memetic properties about it.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, it's like it has this power to make you forget. Like I'm not even sure what I was like doing in The Sims at the time. Like I have no recollection of what actually happened to me during this film.
During
And
that hour and a half.
And the thing is, because you can't remember the film, you can't be like, oh, I don't remember it because it's got bad dialogue, or it's bad action sequences, or it's badly shot. I just can't remember it.
I don't remember sitting there thinking, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I can't
think
tell
it's
you
just
what I was
good
doing.
Background.
I don't remember thinking whilst I was watching it. Like, it
I think
forced
I'm
my
actually
brain
a
into
little
like...
bit scared of this film.
Yeah, it forced my brain into like a standby mode whilst I was watching it.
It has made me want to watch Red because it came out the same year. So let's do that at some other time.
Sounds good.
I remember more. I remember more
that
about
one.
Red that I haven't seen in like a good
Yeah.
few years than I remember about this film.
Yeah, well, you can find this podcast on social media at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTN Pod. We're on Discord
okay.
as well.
This film
Eleanor's
made me ill.
die. Yeah, we're on Discord. Let us know on Discord if you know if this movie does exist in this dimension or not. Because we're not too sure. What are we doing for Patreon this week?
Paying researchers to look into this film. We're going to pay some like memory specialists to watch this film. And just try and decipher why it's so hard to remember it.
But not painful. It's like nothing. Like it. Yeah. Again, wasn't cringing throughout.
Is this what being dead feels like?
Maybe.